Kilmacud Crokes against Lucan Sarsfields.
Yeah, I'd go with Kilmacud Crokes to come through that. I think they've far too much firepower. I think we all know the firepower that we have. What I would say, though, is that Lucan Sarsfields are a very well-run club. They are one of them teams that can cause a couple of problems. And, like, you remember Crokes down the years have had a few scares. You remember that Raheny one a couple of years ago that went to penalties. Obviously, they lost last year to Cúilín. So don't be surprised if this is a bit closer than people think, but I would expect Crokes to still come through by 4 points.
Cúilín v Clontarf.
I think this one will be a little bit more comfortable. I think Cúilín will win this fairly handily, to be honest. I think it'd be 7 or 8 points. I think it'd be fairly comfortable.
Ballybowden St. Enda's versus Castleknock.
Well, look, I have a Ballybowden St. Enda's jersey on the back there, so we better back them. Although I do think Castleknock, to be fair, we know obviously with big players like Kieran Kilkenny and whatnot, they're a team that in these type of games can pull off a shock and a surprise, and Ballybowden can be quite hit and miss. But as you said, some of the new players that have come into Ballybowden have been very impressive, the likes of Dara Sweeney and a few others. So I think Ballybowden will have enough, and I go with a 5-point win.
Probably the most difficult one to call. Ballymun Kickham's versus Na Fianna.
Yeah, I think I agree with your point earlier talking about Na Fianna being very hit and miss. They have been very hit and miss at times this year. Ballymun have big game players who can step up and do it in the big moments. As we know with Dean Rock in terms of 2-pointers. Na Fianna have had big injuries at different stages this year as well. They've been missing some key players. So I think Ballymun will do it. I think it's one of them where if Na Fianna get a jump on Ballymun early, I could see Na Fianna holding on and winning the game. But I think if this is a tight game going down the home stretch, I fancy Ballymun to have enough, especially with Paddy Small in the ranks as well, Dean Rock, as we've mentioned, a few other lads in there as well, Evan Comerford between the sticks. So no, I think Ballymun will do enough. I don't think either of these two will win the Dublin Championship, but I do think Ballymun will have enough, and I'd go with the narrowest 1-point win and maybe even extra time as well.